So I'm pleased to give you a very short update to my home office tour video that I did. It's about 4 months ago now actually. I've made a few improvements to my home office and I've had lots of great comments and people really seem to have liked my last video, so I thought I'd make a quick update and show what I've been up to and the changes that I've made recently. The first thing I was able to do was remove that big cupboard and install the reading area I was after. This has given me quite a lot of extra space, nearly double the amount of space along that back wall, and I've been able to put in a basic bucket chair that I had kicking around, and I intend to put up maybe a shelf and some artwork in this little corner as well, but I've already used it and it's a really great way of being able to just kind of take yourself away from the computer, sit in the office, sit in the work environment still, but at the same time, be able to read about work stuff. And I've been trying to include reading about work-related things in my working day as opposed to, say, in the evening just before bed or something. And I find that it's working really well so far, so I'm really pleased with this. Removing the cupboard actually came with a slight challenge in that one side of my speaker stand that was mounted to the wall was also mounted to the cupboard, so I had to buy this little angled bracket, but that's okay because it kind of doubled as a bit of cable management for the speakers and it allows all the cables to run straight. Another big change is that I bought a dual monitor arm. This is something I've intended to do for a while, and it was mostly inspired by watching some other home office tour videos that I saw after I posted my one a few months ago. I'd love to be able to have two monitors on this, and I did look into buying a second Dell monitor that matches my current one, but they're still quite pricey actually, even though they're a few years old. So what I ended up doing was buying a VESA mount for my MacBook as well, and mounting that to one of the arms, and this gives me that kind of dual monitor look, and it allows me to have better positioning for the MacBook as well. So I actually found that this has worked quite well. It did take a little while to get used to versus my Griffin stand that I had my MacBook on and the stand that came with my Dell monitor, but I'm really pleased with it and it's a huge upgrade, and eventually when I do get a second monitor it will come into its own, I think. I also want to go on the record and say that I made a mistake in my original home office tour video and said that this was a 4K monitor. It's not, it's 1440p. I know that, and I think it was just a slip of the tongue. What it also enabled me to do was do some cable management. So a lot of the comments on my original home office tour video mentioned how dreadful my cable management was, and they're absolutely right, and I'm quite a neat person and it never sat very well with me, but it was one of those things where I've left it for so long I was just kind of used to it. Now I do have a kind of a unique problem with cable management in that my sit-standing desk, it has to have some slack for some things. So because the TV is on the wall and the speakers are on the wall, and I've now got this headphone stand which I'll show in a minute on the windowsill to my left, it does mean that you kind of have to have some slack because these things are static and they exist around the table which is going up and down, so it was never going to be as nice as it could be, but I'm pretty pleased with it now. It does stay out of the way, my feet no longer kick cables below or anything like that, so hopefully it does look a little bit better now. For my birthday a few months ago I was given this headphone stand, and it's really great because I really needed some way of getting the headphones off my desk. I wanted this neater desk, and in combination with the monitor stand, this just gets the headphones out of the way and uses a bit of the windowsill, which I wasn't really using very well before. It also doubles as a Qi charger, so I can charge my iPhone at the same time, and it just looks really nice. I was boarding out my loft recently, and it just sat in the loft lining was this little code key. I don't know where it's from, whether it's from an old computer or an old calculator or another machine of some kind, but it just says code on it, and I thought how appropriate that was. I looked for other keys, I couldn't find any others up there, so I thought I'd put it in my office. I don't really have any knickknacks or ornaments or anything like that dotted around, but I just thought that was quite cool. Rather interestingly, on my original home office tour video, I have had quite a lot of comments about Apple's Magic Mouse. This is the first generation one, and a lot of people seem to really hate it. I really like it for a couple of reasons, and I thought it'd be good to explain well, why I like it. Firstly, I've always been a big fan of lower profile things, so things like, the low profile keyboard, I really like that. I wasn't a great fan of the sort of big white plastic keys keyboard that came with my original iMac that I used years ago. I think it was a 2006 model iMac. And the Apple ball mouse that they had before this, it never worked properly. The ball would get gunked up. It was quite a good laser mouse, but it was also wired, and I just wasn't a big fan of it from day one, really. But this mouse, as soon as I got it, I just found it very comfortable. I liked the lower profile. My wrist doesn't tilt up all the time, which I felt gave me wrist ache. Same thing with the keyboard. My wrists don't tilt up to kind of have to type keys. They're sat low. I feel like I've got my wrists and my forearms kind of straight. And I think one of the biggest helpers is that because I've got a sit-standing desk, I've finally got a desk that is the right height, because I can raise it or lower it to the exact height that I want. So that's one of the benefits. Even if you don't really want to use it for standing, you could always use a sit-standing desk just to get the desk the right height for you. So if you're particularly tall, particularly short, or you just find difficulty getting the right size desk, I would investigate electric desks, because you can make it the exact height that you want it, the right height for you, and you don't have to make your chair the right height for the desk instead. So I actually find my setup really, really comfortable, and I don't have any problems, any wrist strain or issues at all. I do completely understand why people don't like them, especially if they've got the second generation Magic Mouse, because you have to charge it up, and when you charge it up you have to plug the charger into the bottom of the mouse, and then you can't use it, which just seems crazy to me. So I just thought I'd give you a bit of information as to why I like it so much. And that's it. I hope you like my little short update to my home office. And I want to take this opportunity to say thank you so much to all the people that have subscribed or liked or viewed the video. So thank you to everyone that's shown an interest. And if you'd like to see anything or know any more information about my home office or anything like that, please let me know. Please leave me a comment, and I'd be happy to reply. I do have a couple of other videos planned, and I know I said that in my last home office tour video, but you know how these things are. Life carries away with you. I've got tons of work on at the moment. I've just had my first family holiday, and it's the summer, and it's just taking a little while to do everything. I do have a really cool video planned for how to work out of your garden and use your garden as a home office as well. So hopefully that'll be coming soon whilst we've still got the nice weather, and you'll find that interesting too. So thank you once again, and I'll see you next time.